Over the last few weeks, most Americans have been up to their eyeballs in the 2020 race and coronavirus. Huge stories, but not the only stories. So here's one that's flown much too far under the radar. Remember that constitutional thing about co-equal branches of government, as in the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary? Well, if a federal appellate court ruling from last week holds up, kiss that and congressional oversight of the executive branch farewell. I'll explain. Its roots are in an issue Donald Trump has long complained about and did again this past Friday.
But I never win with an Obama-appointed judge. Ever. I don't win. No, we have great judges going on to the courts, great judges. They're fair judges. They're judges that truly love our Constitution.
Now, he's right about one thing. There are Obama judges and Trump judges, Justice Roberts' protest to the contrary notwithstanding. And that's exactly why he's been stocking the courts with his appointees. In fact, as of a few months ago, according to the Washington Post, on top of his 2 Supreme Court picks, 1 and 4 Circuit Court judges, lifetime appointments, by the way, was nominated by Trump, quote, ensuring a conservative tilt for decades and cementing his legacy no matter the outcome of November's election. And you know who helped him with many of those? Former White House counsel Don McGahn. The same Don McGahn who last Friday, 2 Republican-nominated judges on a D.C. federal appellate court ruled does not have to comply with a congressional subpoena seeking his testimony as part of the Russia investigation. And although many of us moved on from that case months ago, this ruling sets a deeply disturbing precedent. If you need a reminder of why McGahn was so important, in 2017, Trump asked him to fire special counsel Robert Mueller. Then Trump instructed McGahn to lie about it. According to Politico, McGahn's name appears in the Mueller report more than 150 times, often in relation to Russia investigation obstruction, exactly why the Judiciary Committee wanted to hear from the man himself. But then Trump told McGahn to ignore the congressional subpoena. The Judiciary Committee sued the White House. They won that case in November, with the presiding judge there saying that defying the subpoena would, quote, distort established separation of powers principles beyond all recognition, and that, quote, presidents are not kings. Of course, the White House appealed, bringing it to a 3-judge panel to the D.C. appellate court, 1 picked by each President Bush, 1 by Clinton. Guess which 2 ruled that a president is tantamount to a monarch? In his majority opinion in the McGahn case, Judge Thomas Griffith wrote, the committee's suit asks us to settle a dispute that we have no authority to resolve. Interbranch disputes are deeply political and often quite partisan. In this case, the dangers of judicial involvement are particularly stark. You know, I'm no federal judge, but I'd argue the dangers of judicial non-involvement are even more stark. Congressional oversight depends on the executive branch honoring appropriately issued subpoenas. So unless a higher court reverses this ruling, say goodbye to co-equal and say hello to the king.